Namaste. Gems from Savitri. We read a few lines from Book 1, Canto 2, The Issue, where Sri Aurobindo first describes that what is the problem of man. He is caught up in a web of fate. Web of fate is a web of forces. And when you look at this web of fate, this seems that it is ineluctable. We are told that you can't change fate. And in religion, it used to be told you can't change fate because upar likha hai. Somebody has written your destiny. The same thing we do, but scientifically you can't change because if you have this illness, you are going to die. Who wrote it? The doctors wrote it. It's another kind of fatalism. Somebody has done research and declared it's not possible to change fixed destiny. Destiny is something fixed. But if we look at Sri Aurobindo's writings, constantly this is what he is saying: destiny can be changed. The whole Savitri is about destiny can be changed. If you see in one word essence of Savitri, not only destiny, love can conquer death. I mean, it's not just a disease, but death means all the forces that right now master our matter and material existence. So destiny can be changed. But how it can be changed? Not by wishful thinking, not by fear, not by confining ourselves like King Parikshit in some isolated chamber, not by taking a host of medicine and trying to change my destiny. No, there is a way to change destiny. That key is given to man. Not one key, but three keys at least. And a master key. So the three keys that are given to man is, one is his will. Another is thought. Third is his feelings. The power of prayer. These are three keys given to man. And the master key is faith. These are powers innate within us. We are built with this stuff in our inner being, and unless we are made to completely forget these powers and live only in the external and believe only outer is alone real, there is nothing called as inner truth, inner being, nothing called as human will, nothing called as human thought and its capacity, nothing called as power of prayer, then yes, we live like that. But there is a possibility that we disengage and discover and harness the powers of these aspects of our existence which are ours own in our inner being. The power of thought is given to us, but we don't harness it because we think randomly. Much of our thought is driven by what others think, and we take comfort in that. To think how everybody thinks is comfortable. Why? Because everybody thinks like that. So I must be right. But very often, what everybody thinks, history has often proved that the one odd person who thought differently was right. And what the masses thought in the long run was proved to be wrong. History testifies that. Again and again. Time cancels. Sri Aurobindo speaks about reason. And he says time cancels all its verdict in appeal. But you will see it over a period of time. It won't be immediately. Immediately it will look like, yes, this is correct. So there is the power of thought. If we harness this power, how to harness any power? It is by concentration. Concentration is the key given to man to harness any energy. Whatever man concentrates upon, that he tends to achieve, whether in worldly life or spiritual life. And there is a very interesting thing when Mother was asked, how will the new world be created? She said, hasn't Sri Aurobindo said it is given in the Vedas by tapas, by will and faith? What is tapasya? People often think tapasya means I'll sit like this. No, tapasya has nothing to do with the posture. Tapasya is whatever deep within your will and faith are striving for. That indeed we will become. That is what is destined. In fact, will and faith turn in a certain direction because that is how the destiny operates. It will first take charge of your will and faith. Very often, when you look at events and circumstances, if you look back, long back, say, yeah, somewhere I had thought like this. And we create our own destiny. So, anything, energy of thought, don't let it fritter away in gossip, in all kinds of meaningless thing. Learn to concentrate the thoughts. So how do we concentrate the thoughts? By focusing on single idea. You pick up one idea. Don't pick up too many ideas. Don't think, okay, now 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, I'll think about God. Good idea. After that, I will talk about, whether steroids help in corona or not. Then I will try some kada. So, don't try all that. Pick up one thought. God is in all is in God. God is all. Pick up, let it hammer, hammer, hammer. So, what will happen? This idea will start drawing all the energies of thought which are running in 100 directions. And one day it will become so powerful inside that it will have the power to change circumstances. Or pick up the will. That will should be engaged in one single direction. Not we want 100 things. We want this, that, this, that, this, that. Also, God, by the way. It doesn't work like that. Pick up the will, put it in one direction. Pick up all the strings of the heart, like Draupadi at a point of time, and pray like an earth, and see the intervention will come. This is something which everybody knows, and we all can experience it. It's not something very extraordinary. We have occasions in life. When we pray to God, we should pray as if none else existed in the world. And then you see the difference it makes. How the support will come, help will come. This is not sentiment. It is actually science at one level, though to call it science sounds very, because science is associated with something like a cold intellect. It's a power of the heart. But what happens to the heart? It gets filled with fear, all kinds of things. This string, that string. Doctor Saab, mujhe bacha lijiye, please. So poor God has to now work through the doctor. But if we just abandon ourselves like Draupadi, so this prayer, all these are powers given to man, but we have to develop it. Just like any other power we have to develop. Unfortunately, it is not there in our education system, and we don't write it in our curriculum vitae. Have you read that novel Siddharth by, who's this famous sea? Hermann Hesse, thank you. Hermann Hesse. So, this monk goes and meets this rich man. So he says, I need a job. So what can you do? He says, I can think, I can stay hungry, and I can meditate. Now imagine, normally it would look like, what is this? I don't need that kind of job. It doesn't fit into my job description, but it's a power. So we can develop it and cultivate it. And imagine if you write in your curriculum vitae, not that you have done, BA, MA and everything. Just write, I can meditate, I can pray, I can think. Thinking people generally are not welcome. Because people think that they have already thought out everything, and new innovative thinking has no place. Because by thought we control the universe. So when they see there is a kind of thought, idea, there is a warfare of thoughts. It's not just looks as simple as, there is a warfare of thoughts as mental beings, and there is a kind of thought which goes into creation. There is another kind. Sri Aurobindo uses the word, the war of thoughts that fathers this universe. If you look behind appearances of human beings and all these forces, you'll see it's the thought. One kind of thought goes in a certain direction. Another kind of thought goes in another direction. You see, during the time of Duryodhana and Yudhishthira, you can understand it purely as a war of thought. One kind of thought was that it is only through lineage that you become king. The other side of thought which Sri Krishna represented was, no, you should have dharma. Lineage alone is not enough. So Sri Krishna took it to himself that he'll make sure that I'll establish a king who is living with dharma, and he also comes from the lineage. So, one has to go through a bloodiest war. But look at the two kinds of thought. By birth, by heredity, I inherit. And the other thought is, you don't inherit by birth and heredity, but you inherit by the power of dharma within you. So we have these wonderful lines about harnessing these powers. It's on page 20. 3 or 4 lines. A magic leverage suddenly is caught. There is a magic leverage inside. If you open it, all the, doors and windows open to the infinite, like Golconda, no? One leverage, and the whole room is flooded with light. There is in us a magic leverage. People ask now how to open to God. You speak of God, but how do we open to God? This is how we open to God. Magic leverage. That moves the veiled, ineffable's timeless will. Ineffable, somebody of whom we cannot understand his ways. And his will is a timeless will. It will eventually fulfill itself. It's not a will bound by time. Once it starts moving, you can't say stop. You can't say, okay, it's not like, okay, I've granted you, pick up your gift within 2 years' time, otherwise you're done for. That's why Shobindra, the mother says. Shobindra says the mother never abandons anyone. The moment she says, yes, you are hers for lives. It may take long time, short time, but it's a timeless will. Imagine what it means. Timeless will is different from time-bound will. So timeless will. So what is it that gives us a direct sanction from the Supreme? Time will fulfill that now. A prayer, a master act, a king idea. A prayer, classic example is Draupadi. The entire Kuru Sabha, prayer. Master act. What is a master act? Buddha suddenly one day is seized by this impulse. What is it? King, I am a king, I'll become a king, own the Shaka kingdom, all this. No, I want to find the cure of the suffering of humanity. Master act, and he walks away. That's a master act of Buddha. And a prayer, a master act, a king idea. What is the king idea? The only idea, king idea I can think about is transformation of earth. Shobindu, king idea. King idea. An idea which reconciles all other ideas. This worldly, other worldly, all of them are reconciled in one master idea, transformation. A prayer, a master act, a king idea. There could be many examples. Master act is to Hanuman telling, take me in your service. Many examples. A prayer, a master act, a king idea can link man's strength to a transcendent force. That is the secret. If we live within this circle, then there is a cause, effect, cause, effect, cause, effect. If you go outside the circle, there is no cause, effect. There is only one original cause. Then miracle is made the common rule, not even one-time miracle. It becomes a way of life. One mighty deed can change the course of things. What is that mighty deed? Gatistvam, gatistvam, gatistva bhavani. One mighty deed. Why mighty deed? Surrender is the mightiest of deeds. Only somebody very courageous. See how foolishly we keep saying, oh, you have to be very, people who talk of surrender, they are very weak people. No. Try abandoning everything of yourself, your ego self, your identity, everything. It requires tremendous courage. To abandon yourself means saying, you take charge of my life. What you may do, I don't know. So surrender is not done by the weak. It is done by the strong. Only the strong can completely abandon. The weak person wants to hold on, safeguard. What does the weak person do? No, what if I surrender and divine takes away my individuality? What if what I get in bargain is less? All this, nayamatma, balhine, it requires strength. So, one mighty deed can change the course of things. A lonely thought becomes omnipotent. Don't allow any contradictory thought. And this one thought, pick up any thought. Swami Vivekananda says, pick up one idea. Earlier you read books, read, think, meditate, whatever. Then pick up one idea. These are from the world of ideas. Pick up one idea. Eat it, think it, live it. Let it flow into the veins. Let it become the idea which even in sleep somebody wakes you up and says, one word. You should say that. For us, of course, it's ma. It's not just an idea. But that one idea, it could be a line from Savitri. All can be done if the God touch is there. Pick up one idea, one thought. A lonely thought becomes omnipotent. This is to awaken all that is within us. While the world goes its own way, let us turn towards our inner being to awaken within us the powers we have lost because of being the price we have paid for being civilized and educated people. A magic leverage suddenly is caught that moves the veiled ineffables, timeless will. A prayer, a master act, a king idea can link man's strength to a transcendent force. Beyond everything, transcendent, ultimate. Then miracle is made the common rule. Don't do it for getting miracles done. Then miracle is made the common rule. One mighty deed can change the course of things. A lonely thought becomes omnipotent. Namaste.